My name is Duncan Alderdice, and the reason I'm making these videos is to document the journey I take as I become who I am by making small improvements to my life every single day. The theme of today's video, or specifically what I want to talk about, a bit, is like the connection between good demos versus bad demos. And actually, hold on, let me restart. My name is Duncan Alderdice, and the reason I'm making these videos is to document the journey I take as I become who I am by making small improvements to my life every single day. The theme of this video, which I don't normally have a theme to videos, is comparing good views with more views and the connection with good demos versus more demos. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Duncan Alderdice. I'm doing too many things. So let's just go with it. My name is Duncan Alderdice, and the reason I'm making these videos is to document the journey I take as I become who I am by making small improvements to my life every single day. The first item of business that I'm going to speak about before we get to today's main topic, which is comparing or discussing good views and more views, and how that's directly connected to what I do in my job, something like along good demos versus more demos. But we'll get that later. If that's the reason why you clicked on this video, sorry about that. We're gonna get through things. First item of business is 26 dials on the day. I work as an account executive at a company in sales position. No demos booked, no pipeline rebooked. 2 demos held, both of which very promising. 1 follow-up held that was a pipeline closed. Both of which there's potential for them to close tomorrow. I'm just gonna do this because I don't want the sun blasting in my face. So we're gonna go through all the small improvements, but here are 2 patterns that are really emerging right now. There's a trend going online. Well, at least Alex Hormozy kind of released a video showcasing his content strategy shifting. They had been trying stuff that appealed to a wider audience. Views went up, but overall business metrics went down. Then they started going back to something that was more business-focused content, and views went down, but business metrics went up, which then kind of confirms, and the idea is going like, I'm trying to optimize with these videos here is not more views, but rather good views. So views with someone who actually has the potential or is be interested in watching this style of content, and then from that taking the next step to join the Become Who You Are group, and then from that get the course on how to become who you are more effectively, and then from that join be a client for a personal coaching kind of idea. So that's kind of going on, and that to remember the fact that although your views might be low, shifting it differently, if only 10 people watch it, well, that doesn't seem like very much, but every single one of those views was a human being, and if you were speaking to a classroom of 10 people, that still feels like something. So that's cool. But the connection that I'm actually kind of seeing is in terms of the actual sales world, which is I'm in, just increasing the amount of demos or appointments or sales calls that you're hosting isn't actually going to translate into the bottom line, into more closes, into more revenue generated, if that increase in demos is with the wrong people. So then for me, whether that's through LinkedIn or through cold calls, what I want to be doing is, before it was optimized for how do I just get a stranger to agree to talk to me about this thing, and now because I've gotten good at that I can do that reliably, it's no longer the problem. It's how do I eliminate having conversations with the wrong stranger about this thing, whether that's someone who can't really afford the service, whether that's someone who doesn't actually benefit from the service, or something of that nature. But it's just cool to see these 2 patterns, whether or not they're just happening at the same time and everyone's seeing them, or if I'm just seeing them, or if it's just kind of relevant. But more, it also is just changing my approach because I want this channel to grow, I think. But it's I don't need this channel to grow to a 10,000 views for a video. Did I say this before? If all the 100 views that I'm getting are with people who should be watching this. So that's that. that's pretty much all I have to say on that topic. So if that's the only reason you came here and you made it this far and you don't want to watch anymore, you don't have to. I'm going to go through the small improvements that I have made in my life since the last time we spoke. So after the coaching call that I had yesterday with a person, I sent them a call notes sheet as just a wrap up from it. So I kind of flushed out what that actually would look like, used it once. That's kind of an improvement. One thing that I did see though is that it would be good to standardize a response email, or the email that I sent the call notes with to the person. I spent I think 20-30 minutes writing, whatever it was, in amount of time that goes if I could standardize this such that there was a basic framework. Again, it's not just like the same template every single time, but a basic framework that I could then modify slightly rather than just having to write an email from scratch. Again, I would want it to be personalized, because one-on-one coaching, you want that personal element to it. You don't want it to be too formulaic. Whatever this kind of gesture with this facial expression means. You would, but if it's something as simple as hello, something to make the writing process, instead of taking 40 minutes, only take 15. That could still be personalized, but then what I'm just doing is I'm eliminating the time that isn't personalizing the email. It's figuring out how to structure an email, and if I get that gone, that just saves up time. It's a way that could improve. So that's just more of an idea. But right now I have one email that I wrote that I might just modify from there. Either way, the next thing is the fact that I just noticed that the session yesterday with the person was only 30 minutes long, and it felt rushed. Or it felt at the end, I didn't feel like I had really given enough. I'm not on the receiving end of the call, so maybe that there was the person was happy with it, but it just was going good to learn that 30 minutes is not enough time for an actual coaching call kind of idea. It seems like 45, which is what it's booked for, seems like a bit longer to have a conversation. It was a bit more rushed. I have another one tonight in 34 minutes. Oh, this was the cool thing though, is the fact in that call, I brainstormed some questions to ask initially, but what was interesting is the problems that the person was going through, that I think other people will go through, were starting to emerge. Things that could be addressed in a video or something, things like having outside family, and them coming in and preventing you from being able to sit down and do the thing that you want to do, or just not staying consistent with it, and feeling like you aren't making progress, having a goal that isn't set too high such that you feel you can't get it. It just is. What was validating was the fact that me actually doing it, as I'm learning more than me just thinking about doing it, which is great, as well as the fact that I'm glad I'm not actually charging it for anything right now, because it is learning time, but so there's still a mutual exchange of value, which is fantastic. As well as yesterday, technically this is a thing that I did yesterday, so not yesterday, but the yesterday before yesterday. If today was yesterday and we were referring to the yesterday, that would be the accurate yes. That's the yesterday I'm referring to right now. Yeah. Is I officially finished this book, The Gay Science. So I have to reread it again to actually understand everything a bit more detailed, but I can say with confidence that I have looked at every single word in this book at least once. So that counts as me reading it. I'm going to start with The Genealogy of Morals, which is the next one, to get more ideas on Nietzsche's philosophies on that, as well as something that I can do for meal prep, which is an easy meal prep for lunch. Is I just sliced up a ham, and it might not seem like very much, but instead of me microwaving a microwavable dinner, I can slice up a ham. It's rather expensive now that I think about it. It's like $10 for a lunch, but it is filled with good protein and nutrition. But if I do that today, then I have something to eat tomorrow, which isn't just rice cakes or nothing. As well as, and this is this last one that I had the idea of, is I'm trying to brainstorm what ideas, what tags I should put in these videos. And I think one of them that I'm gonna add is how to build habits. That would be something that if someone was searching, I think that's more what it is I need to get an idea of a better idea of who I actually want to join the group, to join the course, to join the coaching. Like, who do I, because if I can fully understand the prospect I help out completely, then I can just change all my messaging to speak directly to them. And even if that just means that there's like, that's the whole good views versus bad views, or good demos versus bad demos thing, is even if those just generate like low level, but they're all that human being, then that's perfect. That's exactly what I need to do. I think, but so the long problem I'm trying to solve right now is, who do I help? And more specifically, who do I help most and best? Because then if I can just, instead of just helping everybody, that often will turn into me helping nobody. Because anything catered to help everybody is catered to nobody, because nobody is the average. The average is only a metric you get from the group. Like, if you have a bed of rocks, like a bunch of little pebbles and rocks and everything, and you weigh them and you count all the rocks, and then you find the average weight, and it's, I don't know, 5 grams, that tells you nothing. There's no prediction that provides of a random rock that you pick up, even though it's the average. Like, it doesn't, like you can say like, oh, it's close to this, but you don't actually know that, because you need to know like the distribution, how spread is it skewed, like it's a metric, but it tells you nothing about the individual sort of thing. So then that's what I just have to figure out, is what the individual in question that I help most is thinking, feeling, and struggling with, so that I can just say those things and be like, hey, these are the things I help with, this is the type of person. And then when they're like, do you actually do that? I'm like, yes, I do. And they're like, prove it. And I'm like, look at all these people who are just like you, who I have helped do this thing. And they're like, I believe you. And they're like, here's some money. And I'm like, here's some service. And they're like, wow, that actually worked. And then also another person, and then it just becomes easier and easier. And that's how you build the business. Because then, yeah, I think the other thing that I'm thinking is, like, I should start charging when the amount of demand I have for the service exceeds the amount of supply I can give, and not before that. Because that's how I know, and if I have the patience to do so, that's how I know I will build a actual good product / service, is because people are actually asking for it, not me just being persuasive in getting them to think they want it. Because it's better to be persuasive with someone who actually might want the thing than someone who doesn't actually want the thing at all. It's just like, it's just easier. Other than that, Clementine Club, thanks for sticking around as always, and remember to believe in yourself, because you're more capable of doing great things than you give yourself credit. I'll talk to you later.